football fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 11 in the league where they play for pay. Great to be back with you. The best audience in all of YouTube continues to be right here. Yeah, I'm picking on Monday this week because picking on Tuesday the last couple of weeks hasn't gone so well. I haven't been up to snuff. I've been very unhappy with my performance the last couple of weeks. And it's been hard to pick games. First of all, with COVID, who's in and out of the lineup? Is Rodgers playing? Roethlisberger's out. He has COVID. He might have COVID. He might not play. Very hard to pick with COVID, with all these guys in and out of the lineup. Then the injuries, especially to the quarterbacks. The parity in the league. There's no dominant team. Everyone's got 2 losses. It's a week-to-week league. You get a team like Denver that just goes into Dallas and bombs them, comes back home and lays an egg against the Eagles. I mean, that's what you're getting the last few weeks. It's very difficult to pick these games. No consistency. Still, I should be doing better. I mean, just 3 weeks ago, what was I, 13-0? Then I go to 8-6 last week. And then this week, I was 7-7, 5-7 with the picks. I happened to pick 2 over and unders right that got me to 7-7. Once Roethlisberger went out, I bet the Steelers under, and then I took the Chief game over. So that got me up to 7-7, and I threw the Steeler game out as far as the actual game with the spread because I picked the Steelers last week, but that was with Roethlisberger. Once he went out, you know I'm not a big fan of Rudolph, so I wasn't taking Pittsburgh. I never want to take the Lions ever again after what they did to me a few weeks ago. So I threw that game out. But still, 8-6 2 weeks ago, 7-7 this week with a game tonight. That's 15-13 the last couple of weeks, and that's coming off a 13-0 record just a few weeks ago. Now overall, I'm 113-43. So overall, I'm doing well, but the last 2 weeks, not up to snuff. So I'm going to try and do better. I'm changing it up. I'm picking on Monday. Let's get to it. Week number 11. 2 teams on a bye this week. Remember, the Rams play in San Francisco tonight. They will be on a bye this coming week. They lose Woods, the receiver for the year. He tore his knee in practice, but they do sign Odell Beckham Jr. He might play tonight. Remember, Von Miller should also suit up. We'll keep an eye on the Rams. We'll see how good they play tonight against the Niners in Santa Clara. And the Denver Broncos on a bye. They sum up the league, the Broncos. They were 3-0. Then they went to 3-4. Then they go up to 5-4, including that impressive win against Dallas last week. And as I just mentioned, they come home against the Eagles, who have a losing record. And the Broncos fall flat on their face and get blown out at home. That sums up the league, the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos are also on a bye this week. All right, let's get to it. Week number 11, pick number 1. Let's go to the Thursday night game where the New England Patriots are -6 against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta down to 4-5, just got destroyed by Dallas. I did pick that game right. I knew you couldn't trust Atlanta. They got destroyed in that game. I knew Dallas was going to win big. I didn't know it was going to be that big. Oh, nice performance by Atlanta. Terrible. And then you got New England. How impressive has New England been? They're up to 6-4. They just plastered Cleveland. Fell behind 7-0. No problem. We'll reel off 45 straight points. The young quarterback gets better and better. New England's running the ball well. The defense is playing lights out. New England is playing really good football right now. They're one of the more consistent teams in the league lately, and we never thought that was going to be the case early in the year. We thought New England would struggle this year. They are doing a nice job. Bill Belichick is coaching his ass off. I know a lot of people said, oh, Belichick had Brady all those years, and he'd be no good without Brady. Belichick is coaching his ass off this year. Give New England credit, give Belichick credit, and give that young quarterback credit. And the defense is playing well. I am so impressed with New England. So impressed. No one thought they'd be this good. As far as this particular game on Thursday night, New England is 6-point favorite in Atlanta. Listen, off of last week, and I know I shouldn't say that the way the week is, but off of last week, Atlanta got destroyed by Dallas, and New England destroyed Cleveland. I have to like New England here. I know Thursday night football is tricky, as we saw last week with Baltimore and Miami. I have to go at New England here. 2-team teaser. Move it to pick 'em. You have to like the Pats. You have to. And I'm going to be sitting here next week saying, oh, Atlanta won on Thursday night. That's the way the league is. But you have to, or for what you saw last week, take New England here. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2, let's go the dog pound in Cleveland, where the Cleveland Browns are -10 against the Detroit Lions. Lions 0-8-1. They do get the tie against Pittsburgh in an ugly, sloppy, just messy game in Pittsburgh in bad weather. Pittsburgh's got the backup quarterback in there. They're turning the ball over all over the place. You know Detroit, they can't get out of their own way. Fitting that game was a tie. And then you have the Browns. Down to 5-5, which is good enough for last place. They got just whacked around in New England. Mayfield goes out with an injury, but by then the game was already getting out of hand. Mayfield is very up and down, by the way. Can't trust him. Cleveland went into Cincinnati last week and won, 41-10 against the Bengals, and then they play New England here and they lose 45-7. What's going on here? Cleveland, you got to be better at this. And what happened to Cleveland's defense? They got shredded yesterday. Shredded. Swiss cheese. Oh, Cleveland last place. So, again, we'll see about Mayfield this week. He has a knee contusion. I think he will play. To me, this is a 3-team teaser. Move it to 1 and take Cleveland. I cannot trust the Lions under any circumstance. Every time I have tried to give the Lions a little credit this year, and every time I've picked them, they have come up small. I cannot trust them. And I don't like Cleveland either. But in Cleveland, Cleveland's 5-5. They have to have this game. 3-team teaser, 9 points, moving to 1. You have to think the Browns are going to win, right? You have to. I mean, I'll go Cleveland there in the dog pound. Come on, Browns. You can't handle the Lions at home? Show me something. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go down to Jacksonville. This would normally be a trip I go on, but I am not going on any road trips considering how bad I picked the last couple of weeks. The San Francisco 49ers are -5.5 in Jacksonville. Of course, the Niners play tonight on Monday Night Football against the Rams. Niners at 3-5. Jacksonville 2-7, lost to the Colts. Weren't awful. The last 2 weeks, Jacksonville's been at least competitive. They beat Buffalo, hung in the game against the Colts. I thought the Colts would really plaster them. The game was somewhat close. This is a messy, ugly, sloppy game. Again, this would be normally my bags are packed, but I'm not going on any road trips after my performance the last couple of weeks. From what I saw from Jacksonville the last couple of weeks, and I know I'm going to regret this, I'm going to move it to 11.5 in a 2-team teaser and take the Jaguars. I'm going to say they hang around in this game. They're home. They've been competitive the last 2 weeks, including a win against Buffalo. The Niners have not been good this year. They play tonight against the Rams. They have a short week, then they got to travel all the way across the country to Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville can hang around in this game. Yeah, I said it. And I know I've said it before. Jacksonville, like Detroit, they can blow up a game at any time. But I'll take Jacksonville here in a 2-team teaser plus 11.5 just to hang around in what should be a messy, sloppy game. My goodness, awful. Jacksonville, that's pick number 3. Pick number 4 is a decent game here. Let's go up to Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills are -7 against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are up to 5-5. I just mentioned they beat Jacksonville. Colts, after starting 0-3, have gotten to 500. The Colts are a decent team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. I do think they are a decent team. Buffalo, they get back to their winning ways. They get up to 6-3. They just laid it on the Jets. And Buffalo scored 1,000,000 points in that game. You had a feeling Buffalo was going to explode after the way they played the last couple of weeks. They did. Jets were the perfect opponent. This is a very interesting game. Buffalo's at home, -7 against the Colts. I'm going to move it to 13 in a two-team teaser and take the Colts. The Colts, like I said, after going 0-3, the Colts have played much better football, and they've been in a lot of games, won most of the games recently. Remember the playoff game last year was very close. The Colts could have easily won that game in Buffalo. I think it's going to be close again. I like the Colts with 13 here. You never know about Buffalo. They're another one that can be up and down. They look great some weeks, and then some weeks they look terrible. I think this will be a good game. I think it'll be a competitive game. So 13 in the NFL is a lot. I'll take the Colts there. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Oh, here's a beauty. I don't have to pack my bags for this one. This is right in my backyard here. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, not too far from here, with the Miami Dolphins on -3 against the New York Football Jets. Dolphins up to 3-7, beat Baltimore. Give the Dolphins credit. They came to play on Thursday night, and they roughed up the Ravens. They roughed up Lamar Jackson. That defense dominated the game. Baltimore looked lost in that game. Miami was fired up. The crowd was really into it. That was an impressive win for Miami. Remember, Brissett started the game because Tua was hurt. Then Brissett gets hurt. Here comes Tua. He plays well. Miami looked like the team we thought they were going to be all year. Where was this all year? Nice win by Miami, though, on Thursday Night Football. Then you have the Jets. They're down to 2-7. As I said, they just got plastered by Buffalo. I guess the Jet fans have now run off the Mike White bandwagon. Are you back on the Wilson bandwagon, Jet fans? Is it White? Is it Wilson? Is it another quarterback? I mean, what a joke. White, 4 interceptions. The bloom quickly off the rose for Mr. White. Jet fans have gotten off that bandwagon in a hurry. Oh my goodness, the Jets, they just can't get out of their own way. Some of these games just messy, ugly. Ugh. I'll move it to 9 reluctantly and take the Jets just because I think these two teams are bad. They don't score a lot of points. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's a field goal game either way, so I'll take the Jets reluctantly with 9 at home in a two-team teaser. But my goodness, some of these games already. Miami, Jets, Cleveland, Detroit, San Francisco, Jacksonville. Oh my! Say it ain't so! Oh, ugly! Messy, sloppy! But I'll take the Jets there. Two-team teaser. Again, not one of my favorite plays. I'd stay away from it if you put any serious money on it. But I'll go Jets there. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Another weird game here. Let's go down to Carolina, where the Carolina Panthers are at home, -3 against the Washington football team. I'm laughing because you can't make this up. Washington up to 3-6 beat Tampa Bay. Yes, Washington, who couldn't beat anyone, beats Tampa Bay. Heineke looked good. Unfortunately, they lose Young for the year with the torn ACL. Carolina, they're up to 5-5. They're in a playoff spot. They beat Arizona, who had the best record in football. Of course, Arizona didn't have their quarterback or best receiver. But then again, they didn't have him last week in one. McCoy goes out with an injury for Arizona. Carolina gets the win, but that wasn't the big story. The big story was Mr. Cam Newton. Walker got the majority of the snaps for Carolina, but Cam Newton came in the game and had 2 touchdowns. And he said, "I'm back." Cam Newton back on Carolina has 2 touchdowns. What's going on here? And Carolina beats the team with the best record in football. What's happening? You watch Carolina some weeks. Remember a few weeks ago against, who was it, Atlanta? I mean, that game was just a slop ball. I mean, but then they come back and they have a performance like this. They're another team that's up and down. 5-5 and all around. I mean, it's very hard to pick these games. Oh my goodness. What do you do with this? I have no idea what's going to happen in this game, so I'll move it to 9 in a two-team teaser and take Washington. They just beat Tampa Bay. Heineke looked good. Carolina's up and down every week. Up and down every single week. You never know what you're going to get from them. You know McCaffrey's solid. Now you got Newton getting some snaps. Walker's playing. What's going on? I'll take Washington plus 9 in a two-team teaser. But again, another game. I mean, come on. That's pick number 6. Help me out. Help me out. Pick number 7. Let's go to the Windy City in Chicago, where the Baltimore Ravens are minus 6.5 against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are 3-6 coming off a bye. Could have beat Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. Fields did look good, but they're another team that's erratic. Baltimore, what happened to you? You're down to 6-3, and you just got run over by Miami. And again, and I've said this a million times, that's why I don't like Thursday Night Football. And I don't want to take away anything Miami did. But if you watch Thursday Night Football on a regular basis, the games are generally not crisp. They are very sloppily played games. The teams, the players are not used to playing on just a couple days rest. You could tell. I mean, if you watch the Ravens in this game, you would say they were one of the worst teams in football. That's how bad they played, and taking nothing away from Miami, because Miami played hard in that game. The defense was tremendous. The crowd was great. Baltimore was lifeless. Remember, just a couple days before, they went to overtime against Minnesota. Then just 3 days later, you kind of got to travel to Miami, and you're in another game. And I've said this before. Why is Miami home on Sunday and then home on Thursday? If you're home on Thursday, you have to be on the road on Sunday. Can the NFL get that right? Baltimore minus 6.5 in Chicago. I can't take it. Can't take it anymore. Remember, this is after watching Baltimore last week. You watched that game, right? You saw how bad they were. They were totally outcoached also, made no adjustments. All I saw during that game was Jackson, getting the ball and doing one of these sidearm throws like a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and Miami would come up and tackle him. Snap, beat, tackle. Snap, beat, tackle. That's the whole game. I'm going to move the line to 12.5 and take Chicago. Chicago played better 2 weeks ago. Fields played better. They're home. They're well rested. And Baltimore looked awful last week. And Baltimore has been in a lot of close games this year. A lot of close games. I'm going to say the Bears at home. Maybe it's bad weather as well this time of the year in Chicago. I'm going to say it's a low-scoring, slobber-knocker type game. I'll take the Bears there. Not feeling all that confident, but I'll take them. Plus 12.5 in a two-team teaser. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Another team that's up and down. Let's go to Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles are minus 1.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Another team that's up and down. Saints lose in Tennessee. They're down to 5-4. Tough loss for the Saints. They missed a couple of extra points in that game. That came back to bite them. They missed a 2-pointer at the end. Saints 5-4. They've been up and down. Philadelphia, they're up to 4-6. Go into Denver and just lay it on the Broncos. Philadelphia, this sums them up. 0-4 at home, 4-2 on the road. Let me say it again. 0-4 at home, 4-2 on the road. So Philly's at home minus 1.5 against the Saints. I'm going to move it to 7.5 and take the Saints. The Philly hasn't won a home game yet. Both of these teams are up and down. That leads me to believe this game will be close. So I like 7.5 here with the Saints. I'll go that way. I'm pretty confident in that game. I like the Saints with 7.5 there. Philly is a bad home team, and they're so erratic. They're so erratic. One week they look great, and the next week they look terrible. Up and down and all around. I'll take the Saints there. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Oh, I'm going to win this game. Pick number 9, let's go to Nashville, Tennessee. Where the Tennessee Titans are up to 8-2. I just mentioned they beat New Orleans. Tennessee, the best record in the AFC, continue to find ways to pull out games. Coach is doing a great job. Winning without Henry still. Tremendous job by Tennessee. Tennessee's at home, -10 against the Texans. The Texans, 1-8, coming off a bye. 3-team teaser, moving to 1. Take Tennessee. I'm going to win that game. I can feel it. Go Titans. I can feel it. Tennessee's pick number 9. No need to elaborate on that game. Pick number 10. Really good division game here. Let's go to Minnesota with the Green Bay Packers, the team with the most championships and Super Bowls combined, is -2.5 against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Green Bay up to 8-2. Shut out Seattle. Shut out Seattle. They lose Jones. He's got a sprained MCL. He's going to miss some time. Hopefully they can get him back for the playoffs. Green Bay overall doing a really nice job. They have a good team. They're a contender. They are a contender. They're right up there with the best of the best. Minnesota, they're up to 4-5. They beat the Chargers in yet another close game. Is every Viking game 7 points or less? Every week the Vikings are in a close game. They win this game in Los Angeles. That was a nice win by Minnesota. I'm going to move the line to 8.5 and take the Vikings. This is a big-time rivalry. The game is in the Dome. Those fans are going to be jumping. The Vikings got a chance to get up to 5-5 here. This should be a very close game. I like this game. This is one game I'm going to watch. Some of these games I'm not going to watch at all. But I'll tell you, I'm going to watch a lot of this Green Bay-Minnesota game. Always fun when you get these two old-time rivals going at it. I like the Vikings plus 8.5 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go out to Vegas. Just win, baby. Or the last couple of weeks, just lose, baby. The Black Hole. The Grim Reaper. Darth Vader. Apparently all those fans didn't come to the game last night because all I saw was Chief fans, especially in the lower bowl. All red. What happened, Vegas? You gave away your tickets? Come on now. Cincinnati, pick 'em with the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas. Cincinnati, 5-4, coming off a bye. They've looked bad the last couple of weeks. Vegas, speaking about looking bad, they're 5-4. They've looked terrible the last couple of weeks. Lose to the Giants, and then how bad did they play against the Chiefs last night? And I was totally wrong about that game. I thought Vegas was going to come to play in this game. I thought they were going to come to play. I thought they'd be angry. The Chiefs have been struggling, and the Chiefs just laid it on them. The Raiders looked clueless. Andy Reid outcoached the Raiders big time in that game. The Raiders made no adjustments. Mahomes picked them apart. Hill and Kelsey open all over the field. Raiders can't do anything on offense. Turnovers all over the field. Fumbles. Carr throwing the ball up to the other team. How about the penalties for the Raiders? How many moronic penalties did the Raiders have in this game? How many? The whistle blows, they're throwing people down, they're jumping off sides. Terrible performance by the Las Vegas Raiders. Terrible performance. They were out-coached last night. They were out-coached. That's why Andy Reid's a Hall of Famer. That was a despicable performance by the Raiders. Listen, you could see them losing, but the way they lost, they got embarrassed at home. Got embarrassed at home. Oh, that was ugly by the Raiders. So Cincinnati is pick 'em with the Raiders here. 2-team teaser, I'll move it to 6 and take the Raiders. Listen, I get the home field, I get 6 points. Both of these teams up and down. Both of these teams erratic. You don't know what you're getting from either one of them. So I have to think the game is going to be close. And the Raiders have to play better than they did last night, right? They can't play like that 2 weeks in a row at home, right? Now, I should have mentioned this last week. Did you read the story about Ruggs III, who got released by the Raiders after getting into that car accident? He's driving 160 miles an hour, crashes into somebody, And the woman he crashed into gets killed. Ruggs' girlfriend gets seriously hurt. He gets hurt. Raiders release him. Now he's facing all sorts of charges. You talk about just stupid. You talk about just selfish. You're going 160 miles an hour. You want to go that fast, go to Daytona and go, be a NASCAR driver, or go to Indianapolis and be an IndyCar driver. 160 miles an hour? Talk about just selfish. Talk about just not caring about anyone but yourself. And how many times have I mentioned this over the years about how bad the driving is in general out there, with the distractions on the road, with people, looking at their phone and speeding and tailgating and, TVs in the car. It's hard enough when you're going the speed limit. There is so much bad driving out there, it's scary. They hand out licenses now like they're handing out candy. And I live in New York, so we really see how bad the driving is. I'm sure people in LA see it as well. But the driving all over is terrible. And you're going to go 160 miles an hour just because you want to show off and you take the life of somebody? Imagine you lost a loved one because someone was going 160 miles an hour and plowed into them. Imagine that. How would you feel? This was just deplorable. Deplorable by Ruggs III. And I know he's facing all these charges. We'll see what he actually gets. I would have no problem if he spent some time in jail. No problem with it at all. That's just selfish. That's just caring about yourself. Take a life like that because you have to show off and go 160 miles an hour? That's crazy. That's criminal speed. You go 80, that's speeding. 160 is criminal. Disgraceful. And as I said, how would you feel if you lost someone in a car accident because someone was going 160 miles an hour and plowed into them? How would you feel? And I know we all love the Fast and the Furious movies, well, at least the first one. But again, I mean, this is not the Fast and the Furious. That was a movie. This is real life. And what I say about Paul Walker when he died a few years ago. Remember him? Paul Walker was in a car with an actual race car driver. And they were at a charity event and took a sports car out and were flying around the neighborhood. Flying around the neighborhood. Going way too fast. Lost control of the car. They both got killed. Unnecessary waste of life. And I said it at the time. Why? Because they were showing off. Ruggs, why? He was showing off. An old timer told me years ago, when you have a nice car, you don't want to go fast. You want to go slow so everyone sees you and says, hey, look at that guy in the nice car there. That was a disgrace by Ruggs III. A disgrace. I would have no problem if he went to jail for some time. No problem with it at all. Slow down, everybody out there, and get off your cell phones as well when you're driving. That's all I see when I'm on the road. People looking at their cell phones while they're driving. It's an epidemic. And I know this was more about speed than actual cell phone, but still, they're both bad. And you put the combination together, that's a powder keg. So that was a disgraceful story. Ruggs III. Total waste of life. Anyway, I'll take the Raiders +6 in a two-team teaser. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go to Seattle with the Arizona Cardinals on -2 against the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona down to 8-2, took it on the chin to Carolina. I mean, of course, everyone's out. Murray, Hopkins, Watt's out for the year. Even McCoy gets hurt. They have someone who was in the game, Strudler for Arizona. Who's Strudler? He was quarterback in Arizona. How do you expect to pick these games? You think Murray might play. You think Hopkins might play. They're both out. McCoy goes out. Here comes Strudler. Strudler? Who's Strudler? And Arizona just gets blasted at home by Carolina of all teams and Cam Newton. So Arizona -2 in Seattle. Seattle, they're down to 3-6, got shut out in Green Bay. Russell Wilson looked rusty, played terribly. Green Bay's only winning this game 3-0 in the third quarter. Seattle's inside the 20-yard line with a chance to take the lead or at least tie it. Russell Wilson rolls left and throws the ball right to a Green Bay defender. Good night, Seattle. Good night, Seattle. Wow, so you got a team that was shut out against an Arizona team who got blasted by Carolina, and you don't know who's going to be in the lineup. Is Murray playing? Is Hopkins playing? Is McCoy playing? Is Strudel playing? There's an old rule in the NFL. When you get shut out, you usually jump on that team the next week because they're so embarrassed they got shut out that they play a big-time game this week. I'm going to move it to 8 and take Seattle. I get the home field. I get Seattle at home. I have no idea who's playing for Arizona. Seattle should play better this week. Fans, always great in Seattle. I think it's a close game. It's a division game. I'll take Seattle there, +8. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Good game here with the Kansas City Chiefs are -3 against the Dallas Cowboys. Chiefs up to 6-4. I just mentioned they whacked around Vegas out in the desert. Chiefs, who were in last place just a few weeks ago, they're in first place now. They look like the old Chiefs last night. Defense, a lot better the last few weeks. Got some healthy bodies back. Offense was cooking last night. That looked like the Chiefs were accustomed to seeing. Can they keep it up? Dallas, they got back to their winning ways. They're up to 7-2. Just laid it on Atlanta. This game was over early. You had a feeling Dallas was going to be mad that they stunk it up against Denver. They took it out on Atlanta. I'm going to move the line to 9 and take the Cowboys. This is a field goal game either way. This should be a shootout. I look for the over in this game, but I like the Cowboys here +9. I like the Cowboys here +9. This game could go either way. This is a must-watch game. Must-watch game. Marquee game. Gotta watch this game. This could be the best game of the weekend. Gotta watch this game. Should be a good one. I'll take Dallas +9 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 13. Oh, yeah. How about them Cowboys? Pick number 14. This is the Sunday night football game. Let's go out to Los Angeles where the LA Chargers are -4 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chargers down to 5-4, lost to Minnesota at home. What's going on with the Chargers lately? They were 4-1. They have not been playing well recently. Not been playing well recently at all. Then you got the Steelers. They're down to 5-3-1. They tied Detroit. Roethlisberger, of course, out with COVID. This was a sloppy, ugly, messy game. Claypool was out as well. I mean, T.J. Watt went out of the game. You know I'm not a big fan of Rudolph. How do you like the Steelers running back after the game? I didn't know the game could end in a tie. Glad you know the rule. If you're playing the NFL, you don't know the game can end in a tie. There's been ties the last few years in the NFL. I mean, Harris doesn't know the game can end in a tie. And I've heard this multiple times from multiple players. There's been a bunch of ties in the NFL the last few years. Don't these guys watch these games? I don't get it. I just don't get it. These young players, these young guys don't know their history. They were talking to a Major League Baseball prospect last year, and he didn't know who Mickey Mantle was. You're a baseball player? You never heard the name Mickey Mantle? How's that possible? It's amazing with all the technology, and you can look up anything on Wikipedia now, and some people in the younger generation don't know their history. How do you not know who Mickey Mantle is if you're a baseball player? And to me, how do you not know an NFL game can end in a tie? There's been a bunch of ties recently. Anyway, Chargers are at home -4 against Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football. Is Roethlisberger playing? Let's start there. If Roethlisberger is playing and Claypool is playing, I move it to 10 in a 2-team teaser, and I take the Steelers. If Roethlisberger and Claypool are out, remember Juju Smith-Schuster is also out for the year. If they're all out, I would take the Chargers to win. We'll see. You never know. Don't know about Roethlisberger. Who knows with this, COVID protocol. So that's how I play that game. We'll keep an eye on Big Ben. And finally, pick number 15. This is the Monday Night Football game. Let's go down to Tampa Bay. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -11.5 against the New York Football Giants. Giants 3-6 off a bye. I'll tell you, the Giants are only one game out of a playoff spot in the loss column in the NFC. Think about that. The Giants at 3-6 are only one game out in the loss column. Carolina has the last spot, I think, now. They've got 5 losses. The Giants have 6 losses. And I believe the Giants plastered Carolina already this year. Oh, my goodness. Hard to believe. With that 7th team in the playoffs, I mean, you're going to get you could have some under 500 records, in the playoffs this year. You could have it. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they're down to 6-3, lost to Washington. Tampa Bay was coming off a bye and coming off a loss, and they lost to Washington, who couldn't beat anyone this year. Tampa Bay did have some injuries. Brown was out, Gronkowski was out, a bunch of people on offense were out, I get it. But what happened to Tampa Bay's defense this year? Remember Tampa Bay's defense, how well they played against Kansas City in the Super Bowl? What's happened? They're atrocious. They've been atrocious lately. Atrocious. Tampa Bay the last couple of weeks has been bad as I have been picking the last couple of weeks. Not good. Not good. Tampa Bay should be better than this. They can't lose like that to Washington. Brady throwing interceptions. That was a terrible performance by Tampa Bay. And they're 11.5-point favorites here. Giants are playing better. 2-team teaser. I'll move it to 17.5, and I'll take the Giants. I'll absolutely take the Giants with 17.5. The Giants have been playing a lot better lately. They've been in the games, and Tampa Bay has played lousy the last couple of weeks. They're 11.5-point favorite. 2-team teaser, 17.5. I jump on the Giants. I may take the Giants with just the 11.5. I'll take the Giants there. That is pick number 15. So there you go. You're all caught up. You're all set for week 11. Hopefully I get back to my winning ways. It's been tough. It's been tough to pick games the last couple of weeks. COVID, injuries, inconsistent play, been wild. And I hear everybody talking about it. I hear the commentators talking about it. I hear my friends talking about it. Been very hard to pick games. You just can't get a feel for these teams. Like the Broncos. Go into Dallas, bomb the Cowboys, come home, get bombed by Philly. No rhyme or reason to any of this. But anyway, we'll try and get back to our winning ways this week. Thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Probably talk to you guys next Tuesday. I don't think I'll pick next Monday next week. Probably next Tuesday. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. I'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the games. Kansas City, Dallas should be a good one. Talk to you Tuesday. Take care.